So welcome to episode 4, Cryptids and Cocktails. As always, I'm Grim. This is Freya, and we have a very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Monk. As you might have heard on the previous podcast if you listened, this is the guy we're talking about. And then, naturally, Sid. Then we got Clover behind the camera here, and today we're going to go over the Fouke monster incident. So, you guys were like the original investigators to go out there and hunt this Bigfoot creature. How'd you learn about it?
So, like we said in the first podcast, Cowboy and I were just sitting there talking about it and everything else, and how it kind of evolved was Monk got out of the military. He wanted to go camping, just he and I, go sleep in the dirt, which I said absolutely not. I'm a glamper. I need a camper. And I said, you can sleep outside, and I'll sleep in the camper. And so we kind of kicked it around, and we were going to go to the northern Arkansas side. Honestly, at this point, neither one of us really even knew a whole lot even about the Fouke monster. So I go back to work and was talking to Cowboy about it, and he said, why don't you guys go down to southern Arkansas where the Fouke monster is? If you guys are going to Arkansas, I'm like, you know what, that's a great idea. That'd be cool. So I come back, told him, it's like, let's go check this place out. So we did some looking around and whatever else, and seen the Monster Mart and everything else, and we thought, this place actually looks really cool, and had no idea what we were in for.
About the nightmares to come.
Yes, absolutely, the nightmares to come.
So tell me a little bit more about Monster Mart. What was the whole vibe, the experience? And did something happen out front of the Monster Mart?
Yeah, so So Monster Mart is kind of the centerpiece of the main street there that we drove through. It's a pretty cool little shop. They got some Bigfoot memorabilia off to the side in a side room where they have some casted prints and some life-size replicas of Bigfoot and the Fouke monster. So that was pretty cool. They got a lot of merchandise, socks, hats. That's where I got this beanie here. They got a lot of posters, and the whole theme of the Monster Mart is the Fouke monster itself. So that was pretty cool. There's a mural painted on the front of the building, and the whole vibe is very fun and very inviting for people that are enthusiasts of this kind of thing. So yeah, it was a very enjoyable stop to make. We stopped in a couple times while we were visiting. So
that was the first time we stopped in there. When we pulled into Fouke, it was kind of cool. I remember it like it was yesterday. We come in off the highway and we come pulling in there, and we seen it in the distance, and we're like, there it is. Yeah, there it is. This is so cool. We made it. This is cool, So kind of a bucket list kind of thing. And then when we pulled in there, they were busy. There was a lot of people. It was like starting out the mornings, because we were there on a Thursday. It was like a Thursday. We pulled into town Thursday mid-morning, and there was people in and out of there, because we honestly went in there just to talk and see, we wanted to get an interview is what we wanted, just to have some knowledge. And they were too busy for us to even talk to. But they noticed us because we were dressed exactly alike.
We had our Bigfoot pucker shirts on, so we had a uniform.
Epic.
Yeah, we had our uniforms on. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So it was, and we hung out there for probably 30 minutes or so. Just kind of hung out, and then we thought, you know what, it's going to be getting dark soon. We better get out and set up, because we honestly didn't have any idea of where we were going. None. We knew a point on the map where we were going, where we wanted to be. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know what it entailed to get there. We didn't know. So it's like we better use as much time as possible to go figure out where we're going.
Yeah.
What made you choose that point on the map exactly? Like, what went through your mind saying, yeah, this is where we want to go?
That point that we placed on the map to try to get to, I believe that we chose that spot specifically because it was what we believed to be the easiest entrance into the bog. With it being a national park, there were some trails and stuff, and we were able to pull right up in there and park right off the side of the road, so it worked out really well.
And it is one of the only camping spots on the whole area. I mean, there's only a few different places, and everything we read was first come, first serve. So we're thinking we got to get down there as fast as possible, middle of the week, before the weekend, because we didn't know, does 50 people show up? How many people show up? Which we found out not a lot of people show up. This isn't a good place to be. We did find that out. So in all our haste.
Okay, so you got there. What did you do? Set up camp? Look around? What was the first thing you did?
We were excited to just get started. We pretty much hopped out of the truck and did some stretches after the long drive, got our gear, and turned the camera on and got right to it.
Yeah, so the initial vibe that you guys wanted to do soon quickly changed after you got there because of the atmosphere?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, when we hopped out, we were obviously very excited to finally be there, finally get started, get going, and it was just a pressure in your chest. It was almost anxiety inducing.
Kind of like something's really watching weird.
You. Yeah, we didn't feel welcomed there.
Yeah.
Not by of course the people. The people were all nice. Everybody we talked to on the way down was extremely nice. But as soon as we stepped out of the truck in the bog itself, we felt very unwelcomed. We felt out of place. Not necessarily in danger, but in the possibility of being in danger. If that makes sense. So it was a very sobering feeling as soon as we started walking into the woods. It was almost immediate, and we both felt that way. And as we started walking down the trail, Sid was the first one to mention, I'm feeling a little uneasy. And I laughed. I was like, yeah, me too. I'm happy you said that because I feel the exact same way. That's weird that we're both feeling it. We felt like we were being watched or we were definitely stepping on something else's territory.
Oh, yeah.
Whether that be the Fouke monster or just being in the wilderness environment there. It was very unnerving to say the least.
Because watching back the video, it does give you that eerie vibe just watching the video, let alone just being there in person would be a completely different experience.
Well, and it also, at that point, when we had this conversation, it was kind of comforting, but then it was terror. It was like, oh crap. Yeah. So, oh cool, we're feeling the same thing. Oh crap, we're feeling the same thing. Yep. This isn't good.
Yep, exactly.
So it was, it was serious. I've camped. Yeah. Well, we've talked about this. We've camped all our lives. I mentioned this on the other podcast. I've been out in the woods with my dad, my brothers. Man, we've been out. We've done all kinds of stuff, ran all over. Never have I ever felt this way. And going back to different stories and different whatever else, you watch other people's stories and everything, and they always say, I've never had this experience before. I'm a hunter. I do this. I do that. And it's always... You just hear it until we had, I should say it this way. My dad, my brothers, and I were out in the woods. We're always out there, but this is a completely different feeling, different everything, different. I've never felt this before. You see it on TV, you see it on whatever podcast or whatever where people are talking about this happened. You never understand it until it happens to you. And we had numerous of these on that trip of, holy shit, this is real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is what people talk about, and we're actually feeling this. We're actually seeing this.
You're actually experiencing it firsthand.
Mm.
Yes, as far as soon as we got out of the truck, it was like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
This is not good.
And it takes it from seeing it on TV to a whole another kind of perspective, and just makes it a whole new experience.
Yeah, it's very easy to dismiss stuff you see online or on TV. There's music playing in the background, there's cuts, there's, all
Flashy
the movie
bits and
magic.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. But when you are out in the bog itself, and there's nobody else but you
For miles.
and your partner or whoever for miles, and the danger is very real. It's
Oh,
very
yeah.
present, and
Not only just the wilderness itself, you got pigs and snakes and a potentially looming entity hunting you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are not the top.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you are right there with all the other animals.
Yeah. Yes.
And going into that topic, you guys found a boneyard. So explain the boneyard situation. What did you guys see there? I know there was something really creepy. Like, there was a pattern. It wasn't just random dead animals.
So the boneyard, I did some other research on, after running into this and looking into it. There was a couple other podcasts out there and a couple other YouTube videos I was watching. They have found these in different areas, exactly how we found it. Like, I think there's one in the Northwest. I believe there's one in Texas, I think. I can't recall right off the top of my head, but there is a few of these, and they were calling them boneyards, but it was like probably 30 yards long and probably close to 30 yards wide.
Yeah.
Damn.
And there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bones just scattered, just everywhere. We were like, hey, check these bones out. And then he moves over here. Hey, there's more bones over here. Oh, there's more bones over here. There's more bones over here. Like, oh my God. But it was almost like an area. It was like, after that, there was nothing. It was like cut off.
Almost like a feeding ground of sorts.
Yeah, something to the effect. And so the picture you see on the video, I just gathered up some of the skulls and put them there and just took a picture of them, just kind of for documentation.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we did, because later what we found out, we can cover that a little bit later, but I didn't think this picture would have a whole lot to do with really anything.
Ended up having some pretty good relevance.
But it was another surreal moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would put me on edge.
Yeah, and to be honest, when we first got out there and when we started, we had no idea what we were doing.
Nothing.
We had no idea what we were
Zero.
looking for.
Nope.
We just had an idea and ambition and got out there and started trekking. And like Sid had said, we did some scouting, just trying to see if we could see something interesting, something that catches the eye. Or we were listening, watching, smelling, because the Fouke monster has a stench to it. It smells similar to a skunk, but worse, so they say. So we didn't really know what we were doing, but when we did end up stumbling upon the boneyard or the feeding grounds or whatever it was, we just thought it was weird. We didn't know.
We had no
clue that
idea.
it could potentially have been the feeding ground for the Fouke monster. And so we were again a little anxious, a little bit of a pit in our stomachs, but we didn't have that idea, so we were pretty excited. Like, what is going on here? Something is odd.
Just before we knew more information about this.
Exactly, something's off.
Blind
and so we're just
idiot
looking around like an Easter egg hunt. Like, oh, I got another skull here. Oh, I got another skull here. And after Sid wanted to take a picture of some of them for record keeping, and so we gathered a couple up, put them by this tree, took the picture. And as we were examining our findings, Sid had noticed that a lot of the skulls had similar fractures and breaks and missing pieces. from the same locations on the skulls. Most of the front ends of the skulls were broken off, missing, gone, and that was pretty weird. You know? I mean,
so there's more to that we'll cover later that I found out.
Because we were speculating on how the damage occurred, but we got answers later.
Yes, we did. Absolutely, we did.
So, after the boneyard, you guys kind of stumbled around and found something else?
Well, after the boneyard, we did more scouting, and we pushed a lot further in. And that's when we ran into the first group of hogs.
Oh no!
That was like, this is not good. This is because there was a lot of them.
yeah,
There was
very
a
large pack
of them, and they were going through the trees like nobody's business. They were just tearing through. And mind you, we're out there hunting, but we're not hunting. We are we don't have hunting license, so we're not carrying guns. We did have sidearms, but we didn't have rifles. We didn't have shotguns because we didn't want to break any laws. You know, yes, we want to protect ourselves. We're in the middle of nowhere, but we didn't want to cross any lines. So we didn't have anything to protect ourselves from a hog. So they went that way, and we went that way. They're like, nope, we're going this way. So, but we got caught up in the rain right there, and that was when we kind of run into the skunk smell.
Yep. Yeah, we while we were scouting the area, both before and after the boneyard and everything, we knew we wanted to check out the river. Just common sense, outdoors knowledge. The river water is where animals like to go through, pass through there. So we definitely wanted to check out the river for sure. But while we were looking through the woods, we noticed a ton of tracks and muzzle marks in the dirt from where the hogs were digging, and they were everywhere, surrounding us on all sides. So before we even saw the hogs, we knew that there was a lot there already. So we were, you know, we had the knowledge that they were there, but we weren't trying to meet them by any means. So.
Because it wasn't too long after that we ran into the second group of them.
Yeah.
Because we went this way, and because that's what we talked about was, hey, let's head back towards the river, and let's just see. And it's not really a river. It's just kind of
more of a stream.
Yeah, that's where I mean, when the bog is down, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
So we knew it was to our right, so we started heading that way, and that's when we heard a bunch of commotion, and he had the camera, and I was like, right there. I didn't know what it was. Yeah. It was just something was blowing up in front of us, and he gets the camera up, and we were pushing. I mean, no fear. Had no idea what we were doing. But anyway, this big group of hogs again breaks loose, man, and they're moving through the woods again, and we stopped and just watched them again. I swear to God, the one it was at least 4 foot tall.
Looked like a hippopotamus.
It was massive.
Huge.
The hippo of Arkansas.
Massive, and both of us were just like, holy cow. And one thing about that too, there was a point in those woods, we could have swore we found a house. It was like this big house or something. And both of us seen it, and was that a house? What is that?
Swamp witch?
Well, no. I wish. We would have got that. No. No, so we pushed forward. And we got up there, and it was where some of the hogs had ran through that we had seen. We pushed up there, and it was just how the trees were structured. It was wild. It was crazy to see how your mind, makes things happen. Like that's
implants false memories and stuff.
It does.
Yeah,
because it did. It looked like a big house. Yeah, it looked like a big But we got up there, and nope, it's just the woods. It's just how it was a clearing, and the way the light was coming through there, the sun was coming through. it just lit up just perfect and made it look like a house because both of us thought it was. So kind of glad it wasn't.
That would have been a little awkward.
Yeah.
So after the hogs, what happened next?
We just seen all. I mean, I encourage everybody to get out. Maybe not go as deep as we did.
Go out and touch grass.
Yeah, go touch grass. Go.
It's good for you.
Go adventure. Go. Pick someplace on the map and go. I'm gonna make it here no matter what. Just go and do it. But he and I, we found out really quick that we were in the midst where not a lot of people go at all because the animals, the everything in that place, you could tell was wild and doesn't get messed with very often.
Not a lot of traction.
No,
from
not
humans.
a lot of people out there, and it was very obvious that. Oh, it was just a crazy feeling. But
Yeah.
we seen trees that were just tore up with termites that were making these super cool. I mean, we've probably seen stuff that nobody's ever seen. It's a huge treasure or nothing like that, but just getting out and exploring.
Just
part of
seeing
it,
nature and its raw beauty.
And I think in that too, it kind of helped us kind of tune in to the area. Running into the hogs, getting the scare. Okay, yeah, these things are out there. And that happened a few times with us. Like, yeah, we know these things are here. Oh, shit, they are out here.
Yeah.
It's like, there's one thing to know about them, but then two, the second thing is to actually see them.
Be there with them.
Be there with them and understand that there's nothing there between you and them.
Yeah.
So we kind of called it a day.
You're starting to run out of
Yeah,
daylight.
starting to run out of daylight.
And that's when things started getting a little bit more spooky.
So we go back to the truck, and we got our food and everything else. We're making our food and stuff, and we're just hanging out and just talking. And it's like, it was 11 o'clock, probably 11:30 when we got up, because it was midnight when we were down inside there.
Yeah.
So, we were hanging out, had a couple beers, whatever, smoked a cigar, and then it was, hey, let's, we came here to investigate. Let's go. We're right in the middle of it. So we decided to head down this, it's not I don't even know what you call that path. It was
an access road for whatever.
Something.
Animals?
Yeah, something.
No, there was a gate there, but
The government.
yeah, I mean, for park rangers or who knows what for. It was a road, a very dilapidated road. I mean, nobody had driven through there in forever. It was all overgrown. I don't think anybody could drive through there anymore, to be honest with you. So yeah, very old, dilapidated access road that was kind of formed a path that we followed. Yeah, we didn't wander off the path at night. It was very dark with trees and everything. There was no moonlight.
No light pollution.
Yeah, and so we had our flashlights, and we were on unfamiliar ground. So if we were to wander off in the woods, we would have gotten lost.
Oh yeah.
So we just figured we would stick to the path, see what we could see from there, hear, listen, see what we could hear and everything. And we got pretty far. We walked pretty dang far into the bog, up until the coyotes. But the interesting part of the night hunt for me was maybe a quarter mile into the trek. At the very beginning, about a quarter mile in, I had noticed that there was no sound. There was nothing making a single noise. It was us making noise.
Good.
That was it. And we didn't recognize right off when they stopped.
He actually caught it.
When I noticed that they did stop, I told Sid, I said, "Hey, stop. We both stood there, and he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Do you hear that?" And he goes, "No." I'm like, "Exactly."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, shit."
Yeah.
And we both, the hair started standing up on the back of your
yeah.
neck. Okay, something is watching us, because the whole time we
Something
were in
big.
the woods, the whole time we were in the woods, both day and night.
Yeah.
The bugs did not care we were there.
Yeah.
We were not predators to them.
Frogs,
They were,
bugs.
They were croaking and chirping all the whole time we were there, and so we were definitely alert from that point moving forward. And so we progressed on through the night down the path. And it was pretty uneventful. It was really wet from the rains in the earlier in the day, so we had to kind of maneuver around the big mud holes, and it was a very arduous journey through the bog at night. You couldn't see very much, but we ended up coming upon a little bit of a wider point of the path, and we were looking around, kind of talking over our options. And we were both panning our flashlights through the woods just to see what we could see. And I saw a shimmer. And immediately I knew in my mind, like, that's an eye. That's a set of eyes looking at us. And my first thought was, holy shit, that's the Fouke monster. I about just bolted out of there and started running. But, after a second of looking at it, it was only a couple feet off the ground. You could see the eyes kind of dip away and then look back at you, and then it was immediate. Okay, yeah, those are coyotes. That's a coyote there. Started seeing more and more sets of eyes, and they were all watching us. Probably
They kept like popping up.
Yeah,
I mean, you just see them come up like this, and they're all kind of doing this.
Yeah,
like
that's gonna be an eerie feeling. Just in
it was.
And they were not far. We ended up the next morning when we set back out. We wanted to go see where those coyotes were, and we went out there and we paced it out and everything, and they were close. They were like 40 50 yards out, maybe. They were pretty darn close to us. They were alerted by us, but they weren't scared.
I think we walked in on them.
They're like, yo man, we're trying to have a rave here.
Yeah, exactly. So at that point, that was the point of the night when we decided to call it in. So we ended up walking back to the truck. Nothing else.
Well, no, it was. So we get back to the truck, and we sit down. We're like, all right, cool, because the rain started coming back in. We had our little lean-to built. Our truck is right here. We're like, let's just have another drink, and we'll just kind of hang out, and let's just see. I've hunted coyotes. Well, we've all hunted coyotes, whatever. We've done this all. Let's just see what these things do. See if they come in. And so, watch the sides, make sure. We couldn't see anything. I mean, we had our little fire built, and we could watch on the sides. And sure enough, they came in, and they were probably maybe 20 yards from us, because it went where we were parked. It came up and just dropped off probably 8-10 feet, and I think they were right there. I think they made it to that spot, and they were just doing their yip calls and everything else. They were loud enough that he and we were just a little bit further than this, because our lean-to wasn't very big. We had to lean into each other to talk. That's how loud they were.
Damn.
We're in the middle of nowhere, and and so, oh crap. Well, then another pack fired up right behind us.
Right behind us.
And we're like, oh shit. So now we're like, okay.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Okay, all right. And
East
so
versus West.
now, at this time, I did have my rifle, because it is not daytime and we're not hunting. We're by my truck, by a fire. I'm protecting myself. Sorry, game wardens. I'm going to protect my damn
fight or
self.
flight mode, because you can't leave, so you have to stand by.
Yeah. There's 2 packs of coyotes here. I'm still like, okay, yeah, we're cool. I got this. We got the fire. We've got, whatever. But it was like somebody flipped a switch. They just turned off.
Oh.
Again.
Oh.
And I told him, I said, hey, dude, it might be a time. Let's just go ahead and get in the truck.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I had an air mattress that is made for the back of my truck. I figured we could get in there while we're out in the middle of nowhere. We could still get a good night's sleep. Sleep in the back of the truck. Be all happy and cozy, whatever. Snore at each other. I don't know. But, no, that is not what happened. What happened was, I didn't even take my glasses off. I slept in my driver's seat, keys at the ready, rifle at the ready, pistol at the ready. I was ready to fight my way out of that bog if that truck started rocking.
Mm-hmm.
And he hopped in the back seat, so he had the whole back seat. I was in the driver's seat. That's where I'm sleeping. I am not. No. I've never been that more terrified in my life, ever.
Oh, I bet.
Nothing has ever scared me.
Especially with that kind of activity and experience going on out there.
Dude.
Yeah, no blanket.
No blanket. I didn't have a blanket. No,
He didn't have a blanket.
Yeah, he thought ahead. He had everything. I didn't. So I'm just in my stupid
No
clothes.
raincoat, no blanket.
No, I didn't take a raincoat either. Oh yeah, we had a Dumb and Dumber moment because we're going through there, and he's got his raincoat on and everything else. I'm just getting soaking wet, and then he says, "Do you want a raincoat?" Like, what? He goes, "Yeah, I got an extra one." Like, you've had a raincoat this whole time? Like, yeah, we're in the bog. Seriously, dude? No, it's fine.
I'm already wet.
It's fine.
It's fine.
He says, well, I just thought you just wanted to be just out there. And I was like, yeah, you're right, I am. So I wasn't drenched wet, but I was wet. But it was fine. I don't care. It was funny. It was a really funny moment in the middle of nowhere. But back to the truck, though, I really did. I slept in all my clothes. I didn't take anything off. I didn't take my glasses off. I really didn't sleep. We had the windows cracked, just so we
ventilation.
we didn't take a long nap. But had a mosquito in there. So between two bodies in a cab of a truck, just all gamey and sticky. You can't sleep in a swamp. And then this stupid mosquito flying around. God, that dude was like, I swear I would swat at him and he would leave and then right back. So, yeah, the next morning, sorry if I was grumpy, but yeah, it was bad. So, but those two incidents of going quiet, I found out more later on another excursion that Clover and I went on, and we'll cover that. Just remember that. Mm-hmm. So
put a pin in that one.
Yeah, put a pin in that one. So the next morning we woke up and I was freaking out. I will admit it. I hit the ground. I looked for tracks. I looked for everything around that truck. I hit the tree row. I looked at the truck to see if there was any kind of prints or anything else. Didn't find anything. Nothing. So, and then I started making breakfast and coffee.
And the coffee was terrible.
Coffee was terrible.
That's the one way to ruin your morning.
Yeah, it was
bad coffee.
Well,
but it was a good day.
It was a good day. It turned out to be a good day. But I bought coffee beans. So on top of awful coffee, I had to smash the damn beans with my knife, the butt of my knife. So I'm up there smashing these stupid beans just so I can have freaking coffee in the morning. So,
what did we
did
learn?
That look funny? Sorry.
Yeah, don't do
that.
Anyway, I'm not editing that.
You got it?
Yeah. Nice. Okay. No, so I did, though. So, word of the wise, when you stop to buy coffee and you don't have a coffee grinder, buy ground coffee. So we did, though. We hung out for a little while and then decided to go scout again.
Yeah, main focus was definitely the river. We definitely wanted to scout the river and see what was going on there. That was our main priority, I think, day 2.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And did you guys stumble upon anything while out for your second day venture?
A venomous snake in a tree stump.
Yeah, he was big.
He was a big boy.
He was a big
He
boy.
was eating.
That was another reality shock.
Yep.
Like, yeah, we know they're there. Holy shit, they are here.
Yeah, he was all coiled up in the tree stump. Luckily, the time of year that we had went, it was still cool enough to where the bugs were still pretty tame. There wasn't a whole lot of movement from, reptiles and such, so it worked in our favor in terms of the snake population down there, because the last thing we wanted to do was step on a log or over a log and something be camping out underneath it. But
especially if something that deadly.
Yeah, for sure.
And being out in the middle of nowhere with no access to medical.
Yeah, that's what we were. That was one of our main concerns. We knew that if there was an incident out there, life-threatening, there wasn't a good possibility that either one of us were going to make it out of there. So we were very cautious the whole time we were out there, for sure. Yeah. For sure. But we found the snake in the tree stump and saw loads and loads of animal tracks. I mean, the boar, we saw deer prints out there. I mean, raccoon prints, just all sorts of animal prints. And at one point, while we were walking along the river, a couple of cowboys came by on their fishing boat and kicked up an alligator. Yeah. Just, 15 feet out into the creek.
It's like, oh, neat, another danger.
Yeah, so we decided to walk a little bit farther on the bank, away from the water, than we were previously. But, but then that led us to the large indentions that we knew were some sort of track, but we couldn't tell what. The mud and the leaves and the sticks and everything. It was very, very soft, especially because of the rain prior. So the mud was very, very malleable that second day. And so we walked along and followed these tracks for, how far do you think?
We started picking them up about 100 yards, but then they got very clear at probably around 30 yards.
Yeah, we started seeing more and more definite tracks. There was a few questionable ones where we thought about casting because they were pretty good. And Sid ended up rounding one of the bends on the creek there, and right next to a tree that was kind of fallen over. Sure enough, their one was just almost as perfect as we could have possibly asked for. I mean, it was just right there, stuck in the bud, and we were both kind of in disbelief, but excited, and what is this? Okay, so we wanted to go about it logically, looking around, seeing if something could have made that mark, seeing if there was hoof prints in it to see if it was some
kind of debunk it.
Yeah, exactly, some kind of amalgamation of other animal prints, coming together to make this weird looking print. But the position that it was in, and just the shape of it, I mean, there was no other logical conclusion to make other than something very large, very heavy, with a similar profile as a human foot, made that mark. I mean, it was pretty certain.
It's like you just stumbled upon the Holy Grail.
Pretty much, yeah.
So in the video, it shows one of you putting your foot over the print. How big would you say that print is itself?
Well, it's measured on the video. It measured out at 15.5 inches.
Dang.
And then 12 inches wide across the toes. And that's the unique thing, is it's only got 3 toes. That's one thing the Fouke monster is known for. And then is 3.5 inches deep. So I tried to press. I'm about 220 pounds. I tried to step close to it in the same general area of the mud. I barely even made an indention in the mud. So this thing had to be, and we have more pictures of it. We have a lot more of it. We'll share whatever anybody wants to see. But the one that we did cast, there was a second one that was, let me back up. Knowing what we know now, I'm going to document this stuff way different. The stride and everything, we didn't do the stride. We were kind of overjoyed, oh my god, look at this. And once both of us stared at it and then realized, we're like, oh,
well, wait a minute, that's the thing.
Are you seeing this? Yeah, I'm seeing this. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, this started out as kind of just a
goofy thing.
Yeah. So,
and had no idea. Well, then this happens. I can only estimate on different things now, and the footprint he's talking about, probably about 5 feet over, was another one to the side. And he had mentioned that the tree was over, and it's almost like this creature was following the hogs, because there was a lot of hog prints that were going through there that were all just as wet. And that was something. It was wet. It was...
You can see that in the video.
It was a fresh, within 24, 48 hours. I mean, it was a fresh footprint. And it looks like he was following the hogs. But there's a separate one to the side. It almost looks like the way that bank is pushed out, he was actually leaning over, looking around that tree. So he'd be leaning over the bog, looking around that tree, maybe to see where those hogs went. It's kind of what I gathered from it.
Yeah.
But it was a surreal moment. That moment was like, this is...
That kind of solidified it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that made it as real as it possibly could have been.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys did the cast of the print and all that, and then you guys ended up going back to Monster Mart, right?
We did.
Yeah. So the print process itself was, there was
A learning curve.
Yeah, there was a lot left to be desired.
Terrible.
But, we had no idea what we were doing.
No.
We picked up the casting material on our way down.
Yes.
So we
Thanks
mixed
to
it.
Clover.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks to Clover.
Yeah.
We mixed it up in a Whataburger cup in a bottle of water before we even were at the track. We mixed it at the truck, half of it. So a quarter of it was already hard by the time we got to the print. And so he got the rest of the casting material, and we broke up some sticks to try to give it some more structure. And but we didn't have nearly enough casting material.
No.
The shape and just where the print was, there was a lot of sticks and leaf litter and just debris.
Vines.
Yeah, in the print itself. So when we put the casting material in it solidified all of that stuff with it. So pulling the track out, it had a lot of stuff hanging out of it. A lot of the casting material was left in the hole, and it was a process. We poured it, and we had to let it sit for a little bit. So we walked back to the truck, hung out, ate dinner, and then trekked back out there when it went dark and pulled it out. And I think a piece broke off of it almost immediately. But, we were still very happy. I mean, we were both super excited.
That's still
about
pretty
it.
good
That's
print.
more than
Yeah.
anybody could ask for at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So yeah, we got the print, and we ended up going back to Monster Mart and talking with some of the employees there. We wanted to try to get an interview with the owner, but as I started recording on the camera, there was a incredibly bad car accident right in front of the store.
Yeah.
And so you can actually hear it in the video. When I started recording to do the interview, you just hear this loud smash, and everybody runs outside to try to help, and that was a whole scenario. But that kind of killed the interview, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm sure he would love to talk to you guys at another time.
yeah, for sure.
Because you guys are actually going back down there and adding something to Monster Mart.
We are. We were asked to bring a replica or a reprint of our print, and so we're gonna deliver that probably in March sometime, but or might not even be March, might be sooner than that.
Sometime this year.
Sometime this year, yes. We got a lot going on.
We're working on it.
We are going back down to Fouke, the Fouke Monster Festival. I encourage everybody to go to that. It is unbelievable. It's at the Dancing Ranch, just outside of Fouke. We will be there this year again. We were there last year.
So come and say hi.
Yeah, definitely stop in, say hi. But we're going to stop in there at Monster Mart, of course, because we have friends down there. Love those people. Love that place. So, yeah, that'll be end of March is when he's having the Fouke Monster Festival. 2026. So
Sounds good.
Um,
So if you want to see the print, come down to Monster Mart. Check it out. We'll have a QR code there for all of our socials. So if there's anything else you would like to see on the channel or have any questions or anything that you would like to directly ask us, feel free to reach out and get a hold of any of us. We're more than happy to take any questions or recommendations or places you would like us to investigate or a certain cryptid you want us to remove from your backyard. All right, so after your experiences in Fouke, you went to the Bigfoot Festival in Hanobi?
Hanobi, yeah. So, and that was actually the second time we've been to Hanobi. Monk and I had stopped in there before and kind of poked around, looked around.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really find any tracks, didn't really find anything. We kind of just ran around that mountain, the mountains there around Hanobi. And then I don't remember what the name of that place was called that we actually went to. He had looked it up and said there was like 5 different sightings in the last 7 days before we were there.
Damn.
So he's like, let's go to this one. I'm like, sounds good. So we drove up to that one. Once again, it was regular camping.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling, everything was normal. Wasn't anything.
Nothing like Fouke.
Nothing like Fouke.
Nothing like Fouke. So a little bit later, it was a couple months later, Clover and I went back to Fouke, went to the Fouke Monster Festival. Great time, hung out, talked to everybody there. The interesting thing, I took our footprint, and they had fire stories, and so it was pretty much the locals there. There was a few people from out of state, us and everything, and they were just all sharing stories about their encounters there, and it was just really cool because it was this big fire and just telling these stories. It was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I stepped up and I had my footprint, and I said, hey, we just found this here a couple months ago, and want to show you. It was like a showstopper. Man, everybody was there. Everybody was like, this is insane. And the one gentleman, he elbowed me and he says, hey, you know what's crazy is the Fouke monster that terrorized the Ford family back in the 70s had 3 toes, and yours has 3 toes as well.
Mm.
He said, so is this the same one?
Yeah.
Or is this an offspring of the same one? Which kind of leads to a whole thing of how long do they live?
Yeah.
Was it a juvenile when he attacked the Ford family? You know, is he now older? Is he old as me? I mean, you know, how old could this thing be if it is the same one? So that just opened up a whole nother, realm of what is going on here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know really what to think about that.
Yeah.
There's so much there.
And then you had a incident in Hanobi, didn't you?
So Hanobi, we did. We had a great time there at the festival. Packed up, went back home, and had got invited to the Hanobi festival. So it was just Clover and I and the dogs. We go down there. We take our camper. We rent a spot. We set up our table. We got our pucker gear up there. We're selling. We're meeting super cool people and everything else. And it was the morning after the first night we stayed. We had a few people come up and was just talking to us. And one lady had a video of some Sasquatch calling. She said, yeah, this was this morning. And mind you, this is like maybe 300 yards from our camper. They were howling in the woods. And then they were howling on the other side of the property where we were at, which is I don't know, 700-800 yards. So they were around that property that night. And so I was like, this is awesome. I'm going to stay up tonight and I'm going to see if I can hear anything.
Yeah.
But we had such a busy day at that festival, such a good time, met so many good people. We were wore out. For real, we were wore out. So we closed up shop and we went over, and they had a fire story time too. So they got over there, and it was really cool to hear the stories about around Hinobi, everything that goes on there. There's a lot of activity around that area. Super good people. The guys that run it and everything are just, I shouldn't say guys, the people that run it are just awesome. Well, I wanted to tell them our Fouke story, but that first night was like, yeah, you know what, I'll wait. And I told Clover, you know what, let's just maybe come back tomorrow night and see.
Yeah.
So next night we did. We came back and put some of the puzzle together. So we were, I went and told my story, and I told the guy that was kind of running the show, this is what happened, and everything else. Told my story to everybody. And I wanted to know what it meant when the forest goes quiet. Maybe you've been out there. Maybe you have experienced this before. And what I was told was there's really two reasons why the forest goes quiet. It's usually something there that's top of the food chain, passing through. He has known that... or he has seen that, like, a mountain lion comes through, just in that little area, it'll be quiet. He said the second is when the whole forest goes quiet, himself and his team, they all go on high alert. He said that there's a predominant alpha in the area, and it is no joke. So it goes from, cool, we're out here in the woods and everything else, to everybody keep an eye out, this is serious. Which made my stomach drop, because my son and I had no idea what the hell we were doing. We're just out there stumbling around in the woods. And so to know that happened twice in the one night, with the fresh footprints that were there, the totality of circumstances was off the chain. That was when it was like, oh my God. I couldn't wait to call it. Yeah.
We're in danger.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it was. So,
no copyright.
So we
it's legal.
We get back to the camper, and we go to bed. And so our youngest daughter wasn't with us, and our camper's not very big, so she took the bed, I took the couch, so we can have our own areas to sleep, so we're not just crammed on each other, you know. So I had our big dog, or I had our little dog Daisy, and she had Hank up in the bedroom. Well, I'm out. Long day. It's already been a long couple days, and next thing I know, Clover is shaking me. Wake up. Hey, something just hit the camper. Something just hit the camper. What are you talking about? And something's outside. Something just hit the camper. Okay. So I open the door. I come outside and I'm looking around.
A big rock.
It was like she said it was like a bang. Yeah, like a rock hit the window. So I go outside. Hank, you gotta meet this dude. So this guy, here, turn around.
He's like, I don't want to look at the camera.
He's shy.
He is very shy. He's a good boy. He wouldn't come out of the camper. He stood right there at the door, and he was looking over towards these woods, and it was just to the south of us. He wouldn't. So I come up there, I grabbed him, pulled him out, and he stood right beside me. His tail's down, his ears are back, and he is just like terrified. Like, wow, that's weird. And about that time, this rock or something comes flying over my head, cuts through all the wood, the leaves and the branches of the tree. It was moving really fast. It wasn't like a drifting rock. It was like something cutting through the trees. I said, okay, yeah, we're done. So he immediately just bolts right back to the camper.
I'm out.
Yeah. I get back in there, and Clover says, as soon as it hit the camper, he was climbing over her. So we don't know if he was scared of what hit the camper or if he was trying to protect her. We don't know what he was doing, but we know when we got him outside, he was not going to the woods. So I went back inside because I didn't know what was going on. Tried to go back to sleep. There was no way. Actually got back up, kind of walked around again, trying to find whatever. I didn't go back to bed at all. So as the sun comes up, our neighbors start waking up, everybody in our campers, and everybody around us had something happen that night. The ladies that were next to us, she said it sounded like a tree branch hit the top of her camper. But there's no tree branches on her camper. There was a smudge about this big. And the only thing we can think of, can't prove it, don't know for fact, but talking to the other people and then putting the pieces of puzzle together, I think one of them had ran through and hit the top of their camper. They had one of the small campers where 2 people can just fit into and sleep. It's not a big camper at all. It's only 6-7 feet long and maybe 6 foot tall. The interesting part, though, was as we're picking up camp, because it was Sunday morning, we were getting ready to leave, and this older gentleman walking his dog, who was a Native American, he comes walking by, and, morning, sir, morning, hey, how you doing, whatever. And I said, hey, did you have anything happen? Because everybody we talked to, something happened. Mm-hmm. This gentleman points exactly where Hank was looking and says, yeah, the young ones are over there in that tree row. They're the ones that have been throwing rocks at people's campers the past couple days. And they're the rowdy ones. And then he pointed up the mountain and said, yeah, the big one is up there. He's making sure that these 2 don't get in trouble. I was like, what? What? Holy crap, So the stuff we had got around the fire the fireside stories, and then actually having that stuff happen right there in the camp just blew our mind. One of the biggest things, though, was talking to the guy about our Fouke adventure. I pulled my phone out and I showed him our footprint. I showed him the skulls. I showed him all that stuff, the boneyard and whatever. And it was interesting to get his take on it. He estimated our footprint, as deep as it was, 3.5 inches deep. That animal had to be pushing 1,200 pounds.
It's a big boy.
It's a big boy. And then it was the 3 things I wanted was, how big do you think it was? 2, what does it mean when the forest goes quiet? And 3, what is up with this boneyard? And so when I was showing him the picture, I said, look at these. And if you notice on the picture, the deer have smashed faces, but the hogs have the back of their skulls smashed. So, I was like, what is with this? And it was like it was like, this is how it is. It's an ambush thing. This is how they know they can smash the deer in the face because they're really no threat. The hogs, they have to more ambush them and hit him in the back of the skull to crush that skull.
Hmm.
Because they know that the hogs will fight. Like, once again, what? Great. We're just out there stumbling around, you know?
That's crazy.
You know, thinking like, oh my gosh, man. So, looking back on it, you know, we'll definitely go in with a little different strategy.
Different perspective.
You know, I don't know if it'll be as fun because ignorance is bliss, I guess.
Yeah.
But
knowing all the knowledge that we know now,
yeah,
compared to what we knew then.
I couldn't wait to call him and tell him, hey, we were out there jacking around with this thing that could have pulled our arms off and
Yep.
hit us with a tree branch.
Yep.
But I don't care, man. I'm going back. I want to go everywhere. I want to see all the different ones, man.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to go. I want to experience it. And you know,
There's so many unanswered questions out there in the world, and we are a select group that searches for those answers.
yes.
We want to know the truth. We want to believe.
So do we have anything else planned in the works, kind of what we're wanting to do next? Any ghost hunts coming up or any...
Still want to punch ghosts in the dick. It's going to
Let's
happen.
go.
Yeah, it's still January. You got time.
Let's go see Dogman.
I would love to. That's a really good idea. Actually, there's a Dogman Triangle in Texas that I've checked out, and it would be cool. It's a very, very big area. So, I mean, it's not like, hey, let's head down on Friday night and be back
Pick this
Sunday.
area right here.
Yeah,
Each
it's-
person has 10 square feet. 10
Square miles.
Square
It's probably
miles,
more
there
than
it
that.
is.
It's probably a couple
100 square miles
Yeah, 100
each.
square miles. Yeah, it is. It's very big.
But yeah, we're in the process of planning out more adventures, more different unique experiences for us to go tackle, more questions and answers probably.
Yes, absolutely.
But as we always say, we're working on it.
Yes.
And we will get all together, come out with a plan. But the only way for you to figure out what our plan is before we figure out what our plan is, to subscribe, comment, and like on our videos so you don't miss any updates or upcoming events or weird things we might post. Like this guy's butt. It might happen. Might happen.
You never know until you know.
Stranger things are out there. But as always, I want to thank you all for watching. And just remember, stay classy.
Stay weird.